has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. All right, we go into hour 2 on C2C on a Tuesday with Carver High and Ferrall in New York, and let's talk about my Canes, baby. I got to show you this. What do you think? Here you go. That's normal, right? That's normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Shake hand. Ooh,
Wow,
Sebastian.
look at
Shake
that.
Hand. Shake hand. Ooh, shake
That is
hand.
outstanding. Well, I'll tell you, they were absolutely shaking it up on Saturday. You talk about a beatdown on the road in Gainesville at the Swamp. 41-17. Cam Ward was excellent. I had to get you, Scotty, a little Joe Zagagi for the WQAM in Miami. The Canes call, of course, who you absolutely love. Here it is. This is the Fletcher touchdown to make it 17-7. We need a little Joe Z on a Tuesday.
Second and goal. Ward goes under center. Left foot behind the right foot. Takes the snap. Here's the handoff. Fletcher goes left side. Gets a block from Brown. He's at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Mark Fletcher. He's alive and kicking. And Miami with 6:21 to go has a 16-3 lead over the Florida Gators in Gainesville.
How about, I got to be honest, my favorite part of the game, and I was tweeting about this, was listening to Jesse Palmer. No offense. I got nothing against Jesse. Poor Jesse. He played there. And so here he is talking about, how loud it is there. How will they ever deal with this noise and this crowd and this atmosphere? It's like automatic points for the Gators. It's like being up 7-0, having a crowd this loud. I have been in louder churches than that building was on Saturday. That place emptied out like it was on fire. Honestly, there was no crowd. There was no swamp. There was no noise. There was no chomp. There was nothing. The Canes slept with their girlfriends. And while they were at it, they went out to dinner with their mothers.
They certainly did. What a performance indeed. Let's hear from our boy Mario Cristobal. Needed a big win to kick off his season. Here he is, Mario.
Look, this is a big rivalry game for us. I never got to play in this game. I came to Miami as a player to play in games like this, and the last game was played the year before I got here. Miami hasn't been here in 16 years, and hasn't won here in 20 plus years. So you think this game was big? You think the amount of just animosity, hatred, bad blood between the fan bases, you think it amped it up a little bit? Come on, it was through the roof. It was off the charts. So rivalry games, they last for a year. They last for a year, and you can't do anything about it till the following year. And certainly when you play an opponent of that caliber, playing against the SEC at one of their stadiums and getting a convincing win like that is great. But the most important thing that we talked about in there was, for the first time in a long time, Miami's had a chance to play a big-time game to start the season, and now we got to show we can handle that success and go get better.
So the thing that stood out to me is, because I've been critical of him because he hasn't won, okay? And he deserved it. And now he's won a big game on national television on the road to start the season against a rival at a dangerous place. They humiliated him. My favorite part of it was not that they won. It was that he literally, for the first time since being the Canes coach, he was thoroughly in the mix for rubbing it in their face. Like, he was like, after the game, he was doing this. He was going like this. He was looking at their fans and giving them this. He was giving them this. He was like, kiss my ass. How do you like me now? Like, that's the first time I've liked that guy, when he rubbed it right in their face. Like, we just took you out. And we own, this is our house. The fact that he was cocky, I'm all in now. Like, it took 5 seconds for me to flip. It's simple. If you're a huge fan of something that big that's won 5 national championships, you got some guy in there, he's a great recruiter, and they never win games, and all they do is lose, I'm not having it. But you win a big game, and then you start acting like you're a Cane, a real Cane, like Jimmy Johnson, even Dennis Erickson, Howard Schnellenberger. They all rubbed it in your face when they beat you. They let you know, this is Miami. Convicts? Fine. We're convicts. Let's go. Murderers? Fine. Let's go. I don't blame whatever you want. He was all in on saying, like, he really looks like he loves being the Miami Canes coach. I know he played there, but it's the first time I've seen him show, like, F everybody else. We're to you.
It also took one weekend for them to now be the favorites to win the ACC. Obviously, Florida State and Clemson looking as bad as they did, and Miami looking as good. They're plus 165, with Clemson being 3-1, Louisville being 7-1. So the Canes right into the pole position, Scotty, on the odds board. Well, yes, NC State plus 950 still.
Georgia Tech.
They're right there. Georgia Tech. Nice effort. Nice effort by Virginia Tech at Vandy on Saturday. That was really good. Nice.
Love those
imagine losing
17
at Vandy.
points I had. Real juicy like the Baconator.
One last thing from this game. We knew that the losing coach was already going to have all kinds of problems with their fan base if they lost. And Billy Napier, I mean, he's even feeling it, Scotty, from the bloggers in their basement in Central Florida. Listen to your boy, Billy.
We got to go to work on the football part, and I think we got to become a more consistent team, and we have to execute better. And if we can focus on those things and not necessarily what some guy in his basement saying in, rural Central Florida on social media, then we got a chance to get better, right? So.
Too bad he's right. Like, honestly, Billy Napier is, you know what they say, dead man walking. He's as good as fired.
Yes.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. This has been going on now for 3 years. I don't know what they're waiting for. Like, if I'm the president of that school on Saturday, that was so humiliating. I would have said to my athletic director, let's just cut it off now before it gets any worse. Let's just cut his head off now and get it over with. I mean, honestly, he's fired. He's as good as doomed. I've said this already on my website. They will lose their last 7 games. All 7 games are brutal. They will lose every one of them. They're going to lose at least 8 games this year. The last 7 games, they're going to lose every one of them. All 7. He'll never survive the season. They should have just done it Saturday and got it over with. Billy Napier is dead. In fact, Dan Mullen was 35-15 at Florida, and he played in 4 New Year's Day 6 games, and they fired him for this guy. And this guy should be coaching at, like, Hamtramck Tech, apparently, because he can't coach big-time college football. They hired the wrong guy for the job, and that's just all there is to it. And guess what? You can make fun of trolls all you want. You know why? Because you're too easy to pick off right now, bro. You have no legs to stand on. You know what you are? You're a fly with no wings. I mean, you're just going to crash and burn, bro. Moth into the flame. You're dead. You're fired. Done. No mercy. He's finished at Florida. Finished.
He's finished. I don't disagree with you. Absolutely finished. Notre Dame beat Texas A&M 23-13. Marcus Freeman, huge victory. How about Freeman now, Scotty? 5-1-1 ATS as a dog since he's been the coach at Notre Dame. He's actually been pretty good in these spots, going on the road, getting the job done. He was very happy with that as they get ready. And you talk about opening up, now having a soft schedule. They get through that first game against Texas A&M. There's a lot of light, Scotty, at the end of the Notre Dame tunnel now here. There's a lot of runway for them to rack up some wins over the next few weeks.
Well, Notre Dame has a couple things going for them. One, they win this big ranked game on the road in one of the alleged toughest places to play in America,
I'm tired of
Kyle
that, too.
Field. And I'm tired of it, too, because it's overrated. They're not that good. They haven't been good since Johnny Football was there, and that's all there is to it. They're overrated. Now, here's another one for you. Notre Dame will be favored in every game they play, and Notre Dame's already in the playoff. That win right there, they're in. They're one of the 12. Count them.
It seems that way.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going in a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
So I got to be honest with you, Mike, and first of all, it's great to have everybody on C2C, all of our affiliates on the radio side, TV side. Get the app on iOS or Android. It's free. It's incredible. You can follow your favorite hosts like Carver High, and it has everything. You can watch the network, listen to the network. It's all there. The TV side, the radio side, all on the app. You get everything, highlights, videos, scores, in-game odds. It's all on the SportsGrid app. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. So my point is this, is that I like college football better than pro football. I think that for me, I think the NFL is the most brutal sport to bet in the world. I'd say soccer is second because, I've learned the hard way on soccer. I thought I knew how to bet soccer until I got bent over. I thought I won the World Cup, and I lost like an hour before. And I'm celebrating, drinking booze and thinking I got it all figured out. And then they're like, no, you lost. That was a 90-minute bet, you idiot. And that was when I learned my lesson the hard way. But I think betting the NFL is insanity. And I know everybody around here is an expert. But I'll tell you one thing. They're all liars. You bet the NFL, you lose money. That's what the NFL is. You are going to lose. You will have money not for long. Okay? College football, I can actually make money betting college football. And it's not easy either. But it's way better than betting the NFL, I'll tell you that much. And I just think that college football, the atmosphere of college football is so real. And I think the NFL is, fair enough, a little phony. You got all these fans painting themselves, and they got these costumes they wear and everything else. And they got the whole deal going everywhere in the NFL. Believe me, I have season tickets to the Steelers. I've seen it with my own eyes. College football is pure. It is purely chaos, tailgating, the Grove in Oxford, the Big House, Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. You tailgate there with the bratwurst going on a fall October Saturday with the leaves turning gold at the Golden Dome. That's real. You go into these antiseptic NFL stadiums, you can have it. And I mean it. I think college football kicks the NFL's ass. Now, I get it. Everyone loves the NFL. You know what I like about the NFL? Not betting on it.
Let me give you these last couple ones that I wanted to mention. Georgia destroyed Clemson. I mean, I was, Scotty, it goes from 12.5 to 10.5 right before kick, all because the ATN wasn't playing and all that. They were always going to smash them, Clemson. That's the same Clemson team that lost to Duke last year, the first game of the season. Did people thought that Georgia was going to not show up against Clemson? Georgia always kills teams like that, Scotty, especially early in the year.
Georgia kills everyone, and let's face it, I'll give Dabo. Now, when people said the other day, Mike, this really bothered me. I saw this, that the game has passed him by. I saw ESPN spend 2 hours talking about, has the game passed him by? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Did the game pass him by when he won double digits for 12 years in a row? And then the year he didn't, he still won 9 games. Some guys would leave their wife for 9 wins as a college football coach. They'd trade their children for it. But this guy won double digits 12 years in a row and national championships. And suddenly you're telling me the game has passed him by? Now, I'll agree with the one guy. I don't know who said it. I just heard it, and I didn't find it to be funny in any way, shape, or form. But I found it to be somewhat relatively true, and you can say whatever you want about it. The guy that said their whole team's white. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Maybe they should get some brothers on that team because all the white guys are slow and they suck. His team is filled with white, slow dudes that suck, and Georgia's filled with brothers that are just faster, more athletic, and better. And you can say whatever you want about that. It's true. Remember, I told you this 1,000 times. Listen, I'm not starting slow white dudes over brothers in anything. Okay? I play basketball. I'm the last guy you need on the floor when the game's on the line. Sit Ferrall down. He's slow and old and white. You start the brothers with speed. Speed kills. You can't have a bunch of white dudes out there that can't compete with the brothers to go faster and harder. It's just that simple. You can say whatever you want. It's true.
James Franklin gets another cover. Penn State beat West Virginia 34-12. They had the long delay at halftime with all the rain and the lightning, and they still came out and they kicked their ass in the second half. Ohio State
West
started
Virginia
slow.
sucks. Can I just say that? Like, let's stop with all this West Virginia bullshack. Every year, then they got McAfee and everybody else. Let's talk about the Mountaineers. They suck in everything now. I mean, the volleyball team's probably better than the basketball and football program altogether. I mean, there's nothing to do in Morgantown except drink and do drugs. That's what Morgantown's good for. It's good for a party and alcoholism. You send your kid to school there, I guarantee he's coming home an alcoholic.
Ohio State started slow, so they didn't cover that fat number. They still won 52-6, but didn't cover that fat number against Akron. That was a big number. Texas did cover 52-0 over Colorado State as they get ready for Michigan this week. I'll give you those numbers in a moment. Oregon did struggle, Scotty, against Idaho. Now, Gabriel had a good game, but they just weren't putting enough points on the board. 24-14. I mean, they were like 40-point favorite in that game. The Vandals getting involved. Michigan didn't cover either. 30-10, excuse me. They did have that pick six at the end that made it a little bit wider, but Fresno was driving there, Scotty, at the end.
Fans already unpleased with Sharon Moore. Here's the deal. Yeah. I told you, all it takes, they're going to lose this week. Okay, so when they lose this week, they're going to be ready. The faithful, the Go Blue faithful, they're going to want him fired. And one loss, they're going to say get rid of him. You know what? They will rue the day that they didn't give Jim Harbaugh like the entire university. They should have given him everything, including all the sororities and all the buildings. They should have named everything after. Even his mother should have a building named after her. They let that guy leave. They let him walk out. Did Danny Hurley get a walk out of Stores, Connecticut? They didn't let it happen. The Lakers lost to UConn. Michigan lost to the worthless Los Angeles Chargers. Let me tell you how many people in Los Angeles care about the Chargers. It should still be in San Diego. No one cares about the Chargers at all. And they stole Jim Harbaugh. You know why? Because he knew he was going to get just put in NCAA prison if he stayed at Michigan.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan to believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Tell you, Mike, that's the first time I've seen Vanderbilt win a football game in 30 years. They won in overtime against Virginia Tech in Nashville on Saturday. I almost fell over. Not only that, I bet on them. I had like 16 and a hook, and they covered and won the game outright. I couldn't believe it. They were up 17-0.
I couldn't believe it either, especially the way so many people ran around pumping up Virginia Tech as some dark horse in the ACC this year, that they're making moves this year. You lost to Vandy. You're not doing anything when you lose to Vandy. You got big problems. I'll tell you what was one of my favorite plays on Saturday. I laid the 21.5 with Signetti in his first game with the Hoosiers in Bloomington. 31-7, getting it done against FIU. Let's go. Hoosier football.
And the cover. Signetti
and the
with
cover. The cover. I love this guy already out in Bloomington. Let's go, Kurt Signetti. Big Ten wins 17-1 in week number 1. Minnesota, the only team that lost, and that was because they couldn't make a field goal last Thursday night against North Carolina.
Off the fireworks when they missed the
field
goal.
They did set off the fireworks, though. They made sure to do that.
What a loser move that is. The guy misses the game-winning field goal, and they set off the fireworks.
Hot off the presses is this week's new AP Top 25. Of course, Scotty, Florida State was number 10 last week. Here's the bad news. They fall, Scotty, all the way out of the top 25. They're gone. Clemson fell all the way to 25. Georgia, Ohio, Texas, Alabama, and Notre Dame, your new top 5 teams in the country.
Yeah, and where's Miami? 12th. USC 13th. Listen, Florida State, if they would have been ranked still after losing to Georgia Tech and then losing to Boston College, then I would have disallowed, through management, producers, and you, using the AP Top 25 poll ever again on this show. Like, you can't have a phony poll. You can't have phonies ranked in a top 25. First of all, week to week, the top 25 is the dumbest thing ever. All that matters is who makes that 12-team playoff in college football. That's all that matters. These weekly polls are nonsense. They're fun. They give us a minute to talk about something. But the reality is, if they would have been ranked, I would have disallowed using it ever again.
Heisman odds after week number 1. Of course, a spectacular performance from Cam Ward for the U, Scotty, has moved him up the board with Dylan Gabriel and Jackson Dart, who both had great games there. So Gabriel, Dart, Ward, Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe was very good in Alabama's thrashing, and then pretty much everyone else where they were from before the season. But Ward with the biggest move up there, Scotty.
Listen, I thought the guy Nico,
very impressive.
I thought he was ungodly numbers. And look, for me, this is all about numbers. It's strictly math, and the guy with the biggest numbers will win the Heisman. To me, Jackson Dart, I mean, he had literally almost 500 yards in the first half. Okay, like this guy, that offense of Lane Kiffin's is, I mean, it's just sex on a stick. I mean, it is just, they are going to absolutely annihilate teams because they just never stop. And if that guy throws for that much every week, he'll win the Heisman.
Man, I hope you're right. That would be a great hit for me. NCAA did not allow Oklahoma State to wear those QR codes on their helmets. We did that story a couple weeks ago.
Who cares?
BYU defensive coordinator Jay Hill didn't coach on Saturday. He had a heart attack, Scotty. Thankfully doing better. All the best out to Jay out there. Abilene,
I know what that's like. That is not fun.
Yes.
I mean, my man had a heart attack at the practice, and like this is before the game, and he never made that game, and it's scary stuff, man. Believe me, it happened to me. It is no joke. You start messing around. Trust me, it's real simple. The ticker is the only thing that keeps you going. Now, you can pray all you want. You can have all that liquor, whatever, food, wives, children. If the ticker goes, you go.
Abilene Christian was involved in a bus crash after their overtime loss to Texas Tech. 4 were injured on the bus. That was a wild game they played with the Red Raiders in Lubbock, Scotty, and they did lose an OT, unfortunately. Then the bus had the accident on the way home, too.
Awful.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, Carver High. Big games this week in college football. Like, that's what's great about it, right? It was a holiday weekend, whatever, and, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, last night games. And then everybody's like, oh, it's over. Nothing is over. It's starting up again this week.
Well, it's not over until February is when it's over. It's on
right.
now. I mean, this is it. We just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Before we do get this is it. Let me quickly give you, and of course we're going to talk about these matchups all week long here on C2C as we get closer to the weekend. Here's the big matchups to look for this weekend in college football, and the biggest will be the noon East kickoff at the Big House, Scotty. Texas and Michigan will be there in Ann Arbor. Texas right now, just over a touchdown. How about this? -7.5 with the 43.5 total that's down to now. You've got Kansas State visiting Tulane. We've got Baylor and Utah. Always fun when Iowa and Iowa State get together with their ungodly total in the 30s.
Well, listen, that last game to me is very interesting. Iowa hasn't scored 40 points in the last decade combined. I mean, honestly, like in every game, like when is the last time you saw them rack up whatever it was? I mean, they had 500-600 yards of offense. They scored 40 points and almost fell over. The problem is that I think Iowa State's flat out better than them this year. I think Iowa State's going to be a problem for them. And Utah at home at Rice-Eccles with this, kid, he's in his 35th year of college football. So you would think Utah could win at home against Baylor. Baylor was awful last year. Let's just not forget that team, Aranda's team, was awful. I don't care what anybody says. So how are they going to beat them in Salt Lake? K-State is flat out better than Tulane, and Texas is going to beat Michigan's ass. Okay, Michigan ain't ready for that. They're not ready. Listen, I've said it before. They lost everyone. And they don't have a quarterback. It's real simple. Michigan ain't beating anybody because they don't have a quarterback. They don't matter. Morency, all the rest of them. I love, go blue. It's the greatest school ever. I get it. Michigan football is the greatest thing ever. They got their title. Now it's back out to You Don't Matterville. Back to the outhouse. They don't matter. You can talk all you want. The reason they're ranked is because they're Michigan. They shouldn't be ranked at all. I don't care. Yeah, they got 3 or 4 guys going to the NFL. When haven't they had 3 or 4 guys going to the NFL? Since I was in my mother's womb. Every year they've been loaded with players going to the NFL, 5-star talent. That's all there is to it. But let me tell you something. They have no quarterback, and they use 2 different guys, and they could barely push around Fresno State. Let's stop. People say, oh, Fresno State's got a great team. No, they don't. It's Fresno State, okay? Fresno State went in there and sucker punched them, and they were in that game till the bitter end. Michigan, Texas, flat out, the Longhorns should go in there and spank that ass. I don't see how Michigan's going to stop them. I don't care if it's on national television. I don't care if their mothers are there. I don't care if it's Mother's Weekend. I don't care what it is.
I'm with you. I think Texas is going to smash them. I just don't see how Michigan's going to be able to score with them in that game. Offense is too good. Cal visits Auburn on Saturday. Tennessee and NC State, a really good game, Scotty. That's at Bank of America in Charlotte is where they're going to be playing that. Tennessee -2.5. Colorado visits Nebraska under the lights. And Boise played one of the crazier games of the weekend against Georgia Southern. Scotty, didn't the running back had like 500 yards and 6 touchdowns the game? He was ridiculous. And they'll be going to see the Ducks, who, of course, were not very impressive against the Vandals.
Boise State's good. They got a great running game. They got a great back, and that's a lot of points. Oregon looked terrible, okay? They won. The Vandals gave them a game. They scored late like Michigan to make it seem like their 10-point win was impressive. I thought Oregon looked disastrous for some people said they're going to win the national championship. They're going to win the Big Ten. They're going to win the Heisman, Gabriel. And I say, phooey, fafa-phooey to all of that. And that's your boy right there, Fafa Flow High. I am not having it. I want Boise to cover that number. Nebraska, Rayola is going to beat Rado. And then I don't believe that's 2.5. It's 7.5. Tennessee is better than NC State. I keep telling you, NC State's got a defense. That's going to be a great game. I won't be surprised at all if it's tighter than 7 and a hook. And then Auburn at home over Cal. I don't think Auburn is at Jordan Hare going to lose to the Berkeley Bears. I'm sorry. Remember Cal in the Big Ten or whatever. Where did they go? Where did Cal go? Are they in the Big Ten too now?
No, they're in the ACC
now. I can't keep track of it all. You know why they're not in the Big Ten? Because they suck.
And it is 7.5. My eyes are just bad from that.
My eyes are way worse than yours. Mine are bad even with glasses on.
Mine are getting there. As I get further and further away,
and
it gets harder and harder to see the numbers that are up there sometimes.
Everything.
There you go. College football is back. Huge. We love it here on Coast to Coast. We also have the first week of Pain Day this week. NFL is back in a couple nights, really. Thursday night with the Chiefs and the Ravens. And then Friday night in Brazil for the Packers and the Eagles. They're telling the guys not to leave the hotel. They're still telling them, don't leave the hotel when you're there. Why have a game somewhere where the guys can't leave the hotel? It's absolutely amazing. But I got a lot of Niner news for you before we get to all those games. Niners and Trent Williams finalized the contract adjustment. He's going to end his holdout, and they hope to have him back. I mean, I don't know, Scotty, what kind of shape he's been in. I don't know if left tackle is the kind of position you could just show up on Tuesday and then play that week. But Trent Williams is going to be back with the Niners. So all summer, all the nonsense, Williams, Ayuk, they're all going to be there for the Niners this year after all.
Okay, so I already told you I hope that Ayuk has his legs severed. And then I also believe that Trent Williams will have massive calf and hamstring injuries by week 3 because of the fact that he's a gigantic fat ass to begin with. He's an enormous monster. He weighs, 390 pounds, and he's like 6'11". The guy is such a horse, but he hasn't done anything. He's been eating Ruffles on his sofa and drinking beer and eating ribs and potato and coleslaw, like baked potatoes. I'm telling you, my man eats all day long. He is not in shape, and it's coming. The legs, the hammies, the calves, and I pray for it. I told my buddy on my website, I said, anyone but them. I literally, when some people pray for their families, I pray for my mother and my children. Lord, please watch over us. I pray, Lord, I pray that the Niners are eviscerated. Their legs are cut off. Their legs fall. Their hamstrings tear. Their quarterback is beheaded. Literally, I pray for their just downfall to society. The Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers, all of you Kansas City and Niner fans, I hate all of you dead. And I hope everything bad happens to you, including your cars are stolen and tires slashed. I'm mad.
Well, the Niners did get Christian McCaffrey back in practice today, too.
Through him, too.
A calf injury. Williams going back means the only player in the NFL still holding out is Hassan Reddick of the Jets. He is still holding out, and it doesn't seem like that's going to end anytime soon, as Robert Saleh said this morning. So
here we go.
But he did say,
Scotty, going to start up with the Jets are going to the Super Bowl again?
We'll open him back with open arms when he's ready to return. He's never been there, so you can't welcome him back with open. He's never shown up. He's never been in your building. So Hassan Reddick and the Jets, only one.
Meanwhile, he's the best player on the team.
Probably. That's probably true at this point. I've got a few other notes for you when we come back, and then I will get into the Thursday and the Friday night games to kick off our season in the NFL.
Wait, Luke, what, Luke? Mafia's in there praying that the Steelers are kidnapped? Wait, what? What is happening?
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, Carver High. On a serious note, the unfortunate story of the weekend did involve a 49er, and that was not included in my prayers. As you know, I had prayed for all these things after that happened. I prayed for the Niners season to go down the drain this morning. I had no intention of any bad or ill will toward some rookie I've never heard of.
Yes. First-round pick, rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot in the chest over the weekend during an attempted robbery in San Francisco. He, of course, he is okay, Scotty, doing better. Will start the season on the non-football injury list, which means he misses at minimum the first 4 games. Scary, Scotty. It's kind of like with the Washington running back, Brian Robinson, a couple years ago, right? Remember right before the season? Similar situation. Someone was trying to rob him. And he got shot.
But I saw him walking around, when it happened, when they, put him in the ambulance or whatever. He's like, I got this. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. So I was like, it can't be that bad if the guy's walking around and he's getting into the ambulance. He obviously got lucky. It didn't hit vital organs.
Very lucky.
But honestly, anywhere, anytime. Listen, you and I live in New York City. Are you kidding me? You can walk down to get a bagel and get shanked here. I don't, around here, listen, let me just sum it up for everybody. I live in New York City. Here's how they do the news. Murder, 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 rape. Here's the weather.
Yeah, you can't even watch it. You can't even watch it. Don't forget you throw in slip in the bad political story, too, in between all the bad.
Or someone being shoved in front of a subway. That's 5-10 times a week.
It's awful. Steelers running back Jaylen Warren expects to play this week in Atlanta, Scotty. Of course, he's been out of practice and training camp the last few weeks with that hamstring injury that he suffered early in the preseason. So it looks like bad
idea. I don't believe a guy is coming back 2 weeks later from a hamstring and because he thinks he's ready. That hamstring will be a pain in his ass, literally, for the next 2 months. The last thing you should do is test a hammy that you did 2 weeks ago. Trust me, everyone thinks they're fine until it re-tears.
And then you're out even longer, is usually how it works. That happens, and then you miss pretty much most of the season. All right, Pain Day is here. Week 1 begins Thursday night in Kansas City. Ravens and the Chiefs, rematch of the AFC title game from a year ago. Of course, Scotty, we are going to have some new faces, a few of them on each side, but none bigger, I guess you could say, than for the Ravens at running back. Derrick Henry in the backfield now behind Lamar Jackson. He is very excited to start the season Thursday night in KC under the lights.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just football. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. But the atmosphere and, it being the first game at night, them coming off a Super Bowl, it being at home at Arrowhead, which the environment is going to be loud, it's going to be hostile, but that's what you want. I mean, especially on opening night, everybody watching the first game of the year to kick off the 2024 season. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
Listen, Mike, this guy's finally on a real team, and you can quote me on that. He did it all himself in Nashville. I've never once thought he had anybody in front of him, and he was super special on his own, creating havoc for the NFL. No one could stop him. Imagine what this guy's going to be like on a winner. He's on like a team that actually has a line and that has a great quarterback and now has a great, powerful, forceful back. I mean, this guy literally, I think Kansas City's got their hands full Thursday night just having this guy hammer into the line at them. They play everyone and they beat everyone. They never lose. And when have you seen them play anyone like this guy coming at them in their opener? This guy having Lamar Jackson and King Henry coming at you at the same time, that's a problem. Do you remember the, Christmas, watching the Ravens, what they did to the Niners? They did that without this guy. Imagine what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree. I think this is going to be a good one. It's still sitting at a flat 3 with a 46.5. And look, there used to be this thing about this opening Thursday night game, right? The team that won the Super Bowl always wins, etc. I watched the Lions beat the Chiefs last year, right? In Arrowhead. We watched the Lions beat the Chiefs in the opening Thursday night game. So it's not unheard of. And I think it's very possible, Scotty, for the Ravens. I do lean Ravens a little bit here. As much as we don't like them on Coast to Coast, I do lean Ravens a little bit on Thursday.
Listen, I hate them. They're my, problem in the NFL. I will not deny how much I dislike them. But that has neither here nor there when it comes to, if they're not playing the Steelers, I have to deal with the realities of who they're playing, and I want them to win. I hate them, but I want them to beat the Chiefs because I hate them more. Even though the Ravens are in the North in my Steelers division, I'm fine with that. The Steelers, in my opinion, aren't going anywhere. Like, they're not winning that division. I don't believe that with those two hack quarterbacks. And you can quote me on that, too. There's a reason why the Steelers got Wilson and Fields. I mean, honestly, they didn't just get them because they're like, oh, we're better than everybody. We're going to go get whoever we want. No, they got that washed-up Russell Wilson. And they got a guy that throws more picks than anybody in the NFL who's got fleet of foot. So great, Fields can run, but what did he do in Chicago besides fail and lose and throw picks? I mean, he sucked. So I'm not excited about their offense at all. Zero, nada.
And let me throw this at you. You know how much I love giving you numbers because this will be talked about a lot the next 2 days. Lamar Jackson as a regular season underdog. 12-0-1 against the spread. 12-0-1 against the spread as a regular season underdog.
I almost just fell out of my seat.
And he's 9-4 straight up. 9-4 straight up. He's won 9 of those games outright as well as an underdog. So bring it over. Give me the Ravens right there. We will come back. And the other game is in Brazil Friday night to kick off the season, where no one's allowed to leave their hotels. But let's go have a game in Brazil. The Eagles and the Packers. I'll give you a little bit on that. The numbers.
Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere to a game where my odds are higher to be murdered than they are to be drunk. I mean, honestly.
It's not I'm stunned they're playing this game there. I still can't believe they're playing in Brazil.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Yeah, I don't get it either. That's that global NFL. But can we pick a place that there isn't, just absolute bloodshed every time you turn a corner? I mean, honestly, people think Brazil's lovely. Brazil is not lovely.
It's look, there's a clip that's
Scary.
making the rounds right now on social media. It's Darius Slay, of course, Eagles cornerback. Whether it's his podcast or it's on somebody else's podcast, I got no idea. But he was basically saying, we've been told multiple times, and they're about to head down there clearly, do not leave the hotel. Stay in the hotel until it's time to go to the game. And then he said, I told my family, don't even come. What's the point? I can't see. Don't even come. I don't want you there. I'm not going to see you. I don't want you to hurt. What are we doing here? Josh Jacobs of the Packers said the same thing a couple months ago, that the league had told the players and started briefing them listen, this is the deal here. You can't wear this, can't go here, can't do that. Why are we having a game there then?
Yeah, why? It makes no sense.
It's just nonsense.
Let me tell you something. These people like soccer. They don't care about American football. I don't want to hear it.
Growing the game, Scotty. We have to grow the game globally, is what we're doing there. I mean, England was enough, and Germany, wherever they go to Europe, they have to start heading. So Antarctica's next, Scotty. We're going to play a freezer bowl in our Antarctica in a couple years. That'll be big crowds. Lots of penguins and sea lions are going to watch the game. That'll be the NFL's next trick. It'll look cool on TV, though. So we're going to make sure that we do that.
I've always loved Eskimo pies. They're delicious.
Here's Jalen Hurts as the Eagles get ready to start a new year. Another offensive system now, of course, with Kellen Moore running the show and Nick Sirianni pretty much out of the way of the offense.
Listen to this guy. He's on heroin the way he talks.
This is a really good team. It's a really good team. They got a lot of really good players, have a really good quarterback, and running back and receiver core, and the D-line. D-line is really good in attacking the ball and creating problems up front. And we just, it comes down to preparation. You guys have heard me say it enough. How we prepare and how we have prepared. And having the opportunity to display that and compete against a really good team.
So he went to the Super Bowl, right, and lost. Yeah. And then, so is he overrated? Because he went to a Super Bowl. People think he's this great quarterback. Last year, he was so awful Like, honestly, at what point do people just say he's overrated? Which guy is he? Is he the guy that went and lost, or is he the guy last year that couldn't get out of his own way? Which one is he? Is he Trevor Lawrence? Is that who he is?
Yeah.
Overpaid.
I think we break the tie this year. A lot of people would like to tell you that he was hurt all year last year. I think that's what a lot of people want to tell you, that he wasn't himself, injured, the offense wasn't good. We'll see, I guess, because, I mean, you can't have that excuse 2 years in a row. So you got to be, like you said, you got to get back to 2 years ago. When you went to the Super Bowl, you had this dominating offense. I know one thing, that line's going to be a little different, right, Scotty? You know, a couple guys are a little older. Kelsey's gone. That offensive line, which is such a strength of theirs, is going to be a little different. We shall see for them as they get ready to go.
They have the best receiving core in the NFL, and let's see if he can get him the ball.
Let's see. I don't believe that either, by the way, that they have the best receiving core in the NFL. I don't think that's the case. But we shall see if they can get them. I'll tell you, Barkley's going to make him better, though. Barkley's good. When he plays, -2.5 for the Eagles, 48.5 Friday night in Brazil for this second game of the NFL season.
Listen, I think Philly needs it more, believe it or not, based on their atrocious end of last season. The second half of last season was atrocious. I think they need it more, but I still think Green Bay's better than them. I like Green Bay in this game, and it is what it is. I mean, I can see the Eagles winning. I don't think it's the end of the world if they win. Like, what am I going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. Every game, 2.5, 3 and a hook. Every game, like 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. You have no idea what's going to happen. I know this. You have no idea what's going to happen. Although the key will be, will they get out of Brazil without anybody dead?
Well, I think, the thing for me with the Packers is obviously now people know about them, right? Made the playoffs last year, beat Dallas. They should have beat San Francisco. They melted in the second half. Yeah. Love's second year. All those defensive coordinators, Scotty, what have they been doing for the last 8 months? Sitting around watching all the Jordan Love tape, trying to figure out how to stop him this year. So that's the thing for me. Love and Stroud, right, on Houston. Those are the two guys. These guys all spent their entire offseasons trying to figure out how to stop those two guys who had huge years.
Let's see if they can do it.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, I'll be into this,
And we are live here in the Maverick Center, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Harry on the target. Right hand from my Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form. Bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this thing all the way to the top now.